10 minutes left. Are you all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good. I didn't want to be rude.
I'll bill you for it afterwards.
Very good.
This is how we make our living.
Yeah.
Literally.
We don't work. Yeah.
Literally.
We're not. We're just panelists here.
Yeah, good. Well, I sensed you're enjoying it, and I wanted to just get your consent. Ben Shapiro went before the Congress just today, and he actually ended up speaking alongside one of the representatives from GARM. Now, you've never heard of GARM before. GARM is the Global Alliance for Responsible Media. These guys, if I can explain it to you guys, if you're not sure who these guys are, Ben Shapiro did a phenomenal facts video on it about GARM. They are basically the gate that has partnered up. Think of them as the Great Wall of China. They're the gate. And the towers that make up this wall are big tech. They originally partnered up with Twitter before it was X, before Elon came in, Facebook, so Meta, Instagram, TikTok, and some of the other big ones like YouTube and Google. And they police whether I get monetized, whether any online content creator gets monetized, whether we get all this funding. And on the other side of the wall is all the advertisers out there, all the big ones. 90% of the funders of ads that are out there basically are members of GARM, and they will, whether the gate comes up or not from this organization, they will funnel funding to us. Or if we're not towing the party line, the ESG line, the friendly climate change or immigration or LGBT line, they won't give it to us. But similarly, if one of those organizations aren't actually playing by their rules, they won't allow them to advertise through us either. So it goes both ways, interestingly. Ben Shapiro, giving you the context, he was in the actual Congress talking about this, and I did just a 2-minute supercut of some of his comments in there and what was said. This is the head of GARM right here explaining what he was saying, and you'll see a few members of Parliament speaking as well. Yeah, it's the haircut.
Definitions to try and make order of something that quite honestly had no order to begin with.
Well, here's what GARM did. Here's what it looks like, I think, in practice. Can we put up the email from Mr. Montgomery, who works for Mr. Jewell's company? The email about Breitbart, the Daily Wire, and Fox News. There's an interesting parallel here with Breitbart. As much as we hated their ideology and blank, we couldn't really justify blocking them for misguided opinion. I don't know the Daily Wire that well, but we should watch them carefully too. If we block the Daily Wire, why wouldn't we block Fox News? That seems to me like uncommon collaboration in practice focused on 3 conservative news outlets. You see it that way, Mr. Jewell?
Respectfully, no, sir.
Well, how do you see it then?
I see this is somebody from our brand safety team, and he's asking questions about what sort of standards of service they have and trying to figure out what is happening with that particular publisher.
Mr. Shapiro, it's been cited several times. I think Mr. Nader said this in an opening statement. A number of other people said that they come together, they collaborate, they collude, they come together because they don't want to be advertising on sites where there's terrorism, piracy, harmful images of children, or other crimes on those associated with those websites. Any of that activity take place on the Daily Wire website?
No, it most certainly is not.
Yeah. So that's just, we're all against that stuff. What we're not for is this colluding, this collaboration to go after to limit advertising because you don't like their ideology, you don't like their politics. That's what we're focused on, and that's exactly what's going on out there. And frankly, as you said in your opening statement, anybody can see it.
Yeah, the emails that you're showing, I've yet to see an email on the other side suggesting the possibility of divestment from CNN, for example.
Yeah, we and trust me, we did a lot of investigating. We'd have had that, we'd have put it in our report.
Jim Jordan's great. So we got demonetized on this channel. We won't have the opportunity to apply again for a while. When we applied, harmful content. This is how it affects us. So if you guys are watching on YouTube or whatever platform, Instagram, click the link in my bio, click the link in the description, become a regular donor. Cup of coffee a month. It goes a long way. The numbers we are reaching with this show is 600,000 on average every show. So if you guys did $1 a year, it would be more than I need. I could fund literally every project that we're doing. But at this stage, monetization doesn't just affect getting money for me and the podcast and funding the lights and everything. It actually also it downgrades what we're doing as well with regards to our reach. Ben Shapiro goes on to talk about that. And on top of that, GARM, as I said, 90% of the advertisers go through them. Shapiro has copped on his channels 4,000 of these. 4,000 of these strikes. Across all the Daily Wire ones, they've copped 4,000 of these where they've had videos taken down, demonetization of people like Jeremy Boring. Sorry, not Jeremy Boring, the guy that did the What is a Woman?
Yeah.
Matt Walsh, sorry, thank you. Matt Walsh. This is actually shocking, and this is something that I've been railing about. I've only written 3 articles publicly and published them because they're not as good at getting the message out than videos. 3 of them have been about this topic. 3 of them have been about this topic because it's so important in terms of what's being done. And the Conservatives are completely quiet. There's nothing stopping Australia from passing a bill in order to actually protect free speech in Australia, but they're not even thinking on that level. The last thing I'll play for us, did you guys have any really hot takes you wanted to have on what you just saw with Ben?
Well, the only reason I'm aware of it is I saw it recently on X that they were stating that, you know, they will be following those policies. It's the first time I'd heard about it, now brought up today. So, again, if you can't donate, you know, like, comment, share the videos as well. That's another great way, because if we can increase the reach, then that gives us a greater opportunity as well. And again, as you said, it comes down to these censorship policies which are coming in place, and they're slowly being put into our government policy, so they can take control of what we see and hear, and that can be very detrimental to us as a community. And
I'll say this before I forget. On top of that, so YouTube approve and not approve ads. The only way to sell anything nowadays, it's not the newspaper, it's not TV. It is pretty much, you know, Google's the vast majority of how to make sales, do targeted marketing. There's thousands of points of identity on people. When we were running the Donald Trump Jr. tour last year and advertising it, Google thought our advertisements were for Donald Trump. So they stopped it for 5 weeks. They stopped it. The ticket sales plummeted because I was like, how do you reach people? That's how you advertise. They stopped it for 5 weeks before we even had it up. And then a couple, 2 weeks out from the thing, back up again, no worries. That's just one, like, it'll take me years to tell you the amount of ways they screwed us around in that tour. But that's just one of many. Now, Donald Trump, in this particular congressional talk, one of the senators, one of the House of Reps members, actually said, you know, why are we taking Donald Trump once down? And he said, well, our advertisers, you know, didn't want to associate with. You're messing with the election. The people that write the laws that protect you, you're messing with elections. It's a big no-no. And the Conservatives are asleep at the wheel. That's where we're at. But Ben did a phenomenal job. You may not agree with him on anything. You won't find anyone you agree on anything, including your wife. But Ben did the right thing in this. I listened to the whole thing, the whole 3 hours. He did a very good job. The last video I'll play is this from Measured Nawaz. Been listening to him for a very long time. He warns of a global palace coup. Whoops. Where is the sound? That's not good. Sorry, everyone. I guess you'll have to wait till next week. There you go for a teaser. And I'll save that one. If you guys haven't gotten the Light newspaper, it's almost sold out for this edition. It's been doing really well. It's been doing phenomenally well getting around the country. I do believe we're getting close to 200,000 prints for this edition, issue 12. The next one's coming out in August. If you want to start putting your orders in, please do get in contact with them at thelightaustralia.com.au. And as you can see, it is very, very cheap for the papers. We're all about spreading the evangelical message. For 3 papers, it's $7.50, but for 2,000 papers, it's $420. Leave them in your local cafe, leave them at your local hairdresser, get them out there. Be really evangelical with it and get the word out. Again, if you're listening on video, screenshot this, get the QR code. This is the one time I'll tell you to scan a QR code. Donate, support the show if you can. You can also see the Light Australia newspaper as well. And lastly, if you could go and follow, we're about to go to 5 more minutes on Rumble and X. There's one video that Stephen Shapiro has sent me in. I promised him I'd play it, and I'm a man of my word. So that'll be played on Rumble, X, and Telegram. But if you're listening on YouTube, we're about to love you and leave you. Give this a share, donate, go support these phenomenal people. I've got Adam Dobson, Elvis, I've got Stephen. There are follow links there on X and on Instagram. And I'm about to cut the stream now to YouTube. If we could cut those off right now, in 2 seconds, we're about to do Rumble for 5 minutes. And give me the nod when we're good. But for the rest of you on YouTube,